strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Bulldog, going to add to the Counter Guide series here today. This time we are looking at using Darth Revan to defeat Rey. So this is not a breaking video, but I do want to go over this team, get a lot of questions about it, particularly when the other team has some sort of pre-taunt. Whether it's an actual pre-taunt or you're using somebody like Watt and Kenobi. That's one of the biggest combos we see out there. I get a lot of questions about that. So the first four is pretty critical. Your fifth character, GBA, is very, very good here. I think undoubtedly the best for a couple of reasons, but you can use some other tanks. I also see Jedi Training Rey used a little bit here. So she will gain turn meter whenever allies are gain debuffs. So with Darth Revan and Bastila Fallen gaining those stacks of ferocity, it feeds a lot of turn meter to Jedi Training Rey, and she can use things like healing immunity. She can clear taunts, reduce turn meter, that type of thing, help control the other squad. She does work very well here. But GBA I do like as my preferred fifth. As far as modding goes, there's a general modding guide here, but there's nothing too critical. The big thing is you need either Bastila Fallen or Darth Revan's speed to be 85% of whoever you're trying to outspeed on the other side. So you're going to give the weapon mod to one of them, and then they're going to gain 15% turn meter whenever Rey takes that opening turn. So if there's a pre-taunt, that's going to be Bastila Fallen. If there's no pre-taunt, you can give it directly to Darth Revan and Fear right away. So that's basically what you're looking there as far as speeds go. I like having Thrawn and GBA in having their speeds close to one another. I'll show you why here in just a second. But again, giving that weapon mod to Bastila Fallen, we really want, if we're going up against Gas, we really want Gas to either be feared or staggered, because we don't want him using an opening AoE and increasing our cooldowns. That would make this counter very hard to run. If we get those resists there, it can spell trouble. In this case, we got feared, so when Darth Revan uses that AoE, that increases Gas's cooldown, so he can only use the basic. So right here is what I was talking about, why I like GBA and Thrawn's speeds to be close together. So Kenobi was behind that taunt, so what we did is we flipped the turn over to Geobrood Alpha. He could then clear that taunt. Thrawn goes shortly after and can get that fracture in. Once you get that fracture in, and then of course we get that fear controlling the other side, things work very well from there. So the key things to look at. So you're going to obviously need to get Rey under 50% health, trigger her damage immunity, and we've got to be prepared for coming out of that. So you have to make sure that if Gas is on the other side, that he is not increasing cooldowns, particularly of Thrawn. So it does help that he's got his crit chance reduced by that corrupted battle meditation, but he can still land crits if he gets an AoE off. So you've got to be careful on how you trigger that stagger or use that fear. So you can use AoEs or other methods to hit Gas when his turn meter is high if he has stagger, or if you get lucky with some of those fears, that can work as well. So you just got to keep him under control, and you've got to keep Kenobi's taunt under control. So you don't want him to be taunting so that Thrawn can't fracture when you come out of this ultimate. So you can see they've done virtually no damage here. Any damage we've healed up, so we're going to be able to survive that AoE, that huge AoE from Rey whenever she comes out of this. You've got to pay attention to Thrawn's turn meter here. So I don't want to, again, he's got Fracture coming up. I don't want to flip over to, for example, Geobrood Alpha, and then his turn will come too early. You want Thrawn to be able to Fracture as close to Rey coming out of her ultimate as possible. It can be a little difficult at times. Sometimes it's not perfect, but if we get Rey going multiple times after that can be where you can get into trouble as well. That's another reason I like GBA. So if Rey comes out, gets another turn and uses a Whirlwind, we can revive Brute. Sometimes we have to revive him multiple times if you happen to get into some trouble. But usually they're pretty clean like this. Again, you've got to pay attention. In this case, we've got Revan, so you don't really want to. In this case, we triggered that savior and gave Gas that bonus turn there, or that full turn meter after Rey was defeated. If we did that earlier and then Gas used that AoE, increased the cooldowns for Thrawn, he would have to wait another turn to fracture. That gives Rey, everybody else, some more time to do some damage. So that's just trying to go over very quickly some potential pitfalls and what can happen there. But it's a very, very reliable counter. Running this, generally the only time I lose is on that opening turn if Gas resists stagger or resists fear, and then increases the cooldown. Thrawn has to wait till turn 2 to fracture, and sometimes Rey gets loose and causes some problems while we're waiting for that to occur. So you can still get wins if there is a resist, but it's near 100% win rate as long as you pay attention to everything. If you get that opening stagger or get that opening fear on Gas, and then again you just have to. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of things going on. You have to make sure you control everybody. Again, don't let Gas get loose while you're waiting for Rey's ultimate, that type of thing. Make sure you're not getting stuck behind Kenobi's taunt. If you have to make sure you get shock on him, sometimes attack him with a basic with Darth Revan to get that buff immunity on there. He's going to clear those debuffs though during his turn and regain taunt. So you just have to be paying attention to his turn meter and when that's going to pop up. And kind of controlling him there. So a lot going on, a lot to pay attention to. But if you know what you're doing, if you've practiced it, if you're familiar with it, it has a very, very high win rate against Rey. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to get to them as best as I can. But hopefully that gives you guys a good explanation of how to run that team. And you can use that in Arena, use that in Grand Arena, Territory Wars, various different places. It's reliable enough to use in those situations. So it works pretty well. So thanks a lot, guys. And I'm going to be going back and doing a lot of these counter videos. So be sure to comment and leave what teams you want me to showcase or what tutorials you want me to give. And not even just for veteran players, but for new players as well. And I'm trying to build up my library. Hopefully I'll have that out soon with both text guides and video guides for running some of these teams, and can give you guys a resource there. So thanks a lot for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that. Visit my Discord. You can talk to me about this. That's where I'm going to have this. The library is going to be on Discord. So it's not out yet, but I am working on it. That's where it will be. So come join my server if you want to be prepared for that. So thanks a lot, guys, and have a great night.